The sound of laughter echoed through the high school hallway, not the good kind, but the cruel kind that slices right through your chest. Nice shoes, princess, one of the boys jeered, kicking the back of Emma's worn-out sneakers as she walked. Another girl, tall and sharp-tongued, snapped a picture of her torn backpack and whispered loudly, "Guess money doesn't run in the family, huh?" Emma's eyes burned, but she kept walking. Her long brown hair fell over her face, hiding the humiliation. The truth was, she could have bought 10 pairs of those shoes if she wanted to. Her mother was Mayor Evelyn Grant, one of the most powerful women in the city. But Emma never told anyone that. She didn't want to be treated differently. She wanted to earn her respect on her own. But that secret came with a price. At Riverside High, power ruled everything: who you hung out with, where you sat, how people looked at you. Emma was new, quiet, and kind. She didn't fit in with the loud, glittering crowd. That's why the bullies, led by Jordan and Lexi, saw her as an easy target. They didn't know who they were dealing with. It started small, a shove in the hallway, whispers behind her back, cruel notes slipped into her locker. But it got worse. One afternoon, Emma opened her backpack to find her books drenched in milk. The stench was unbearable. Laughter filled the room. She froze, heart pounding, while her classmates recorded it on their phones. That night, she sat in her room, trembling. Her mom was in the next room, talking on the phone with city officials about rebuilding youth centers. Emma could hear her mother's confident voice, strong, determined, respected. But Emma felt small, powerless, invisible. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she whispered to herself, "If only I were like her." But that night, something in her changed. The next day, Emma didn't hide her tears, she let them show. She walked straight up to Jordan and Lexi during lunch. "You think hurting people makes you powerful," she said, voice trembling but steady. "You're wrong. It just makes you weak." Jordan sneered. "Oh look, the sad little charity case is trying to talk back." Lexi added, "What are you gonna do, cry to your mommy?" Emma took a deep breath and said quietly, "You know what, maybe I will." They laughed, thinking she was bluffing. But she wasn't. That evening, Emma told her mom everything. Every insult, every shove, every tear she had to hide. For the first time, Mayor Evelyn Grant didn't speak like a politician, she spoke like a mother whose child had been hurt. "Sweetheart," she said, gripping Emma's hand, "you don't need me to fight your battles, but you'll never have to fight them alone." The next morning, things changed, not in the way the bullies expected. Mayor Grant showed up at Riverside High, not as the mayor, but as a mother. She didn't storm into the principal's office demanding punishment. Instead, she requested a school-wide assembly. When the students gathered in the gym, murmuring in confusion, the mayor stepped onto the stage. Cameras were rolling. Local news had been invited. Her speech wasn't political, it was personal. "I've spent my life building this city," she began. "But if our schools aren't safe for our children, then what are we really building?" Her voice broke just slightly. "Bullying doesn't make you powerful. It destroys lives. It silences voices that might one day change this city. I know this, because it happened to my own daughter." The room went silent. Emma sat in the front row, eyes wide. She hadn't known her mom would say that. And to those who think they can hurt others and hide behind a crowd, the mayor's gaze swept across the room, landing on Jordan and Lexi. "Remember this. Leadership is not about fear. It's about respect." The crowd didn't cheer. They didn't clap. They just listened. For once, the bullies had no words. After that day, everything shifted. The school started an anti-bullying program, not the typical kind with posters and slogans, but one that actually worked. Emma's mom funded workshops where students could share their stories anonymously. The principal introduced peer mentors. And slowly, the atmosphere began to change. Jordan and Lexi were suspended for their actions, but what mattered more was what came after. Lexi approached Emma weeks later, eyes filled with guilt. "I didn't know," she started, voice shaking. "I didn't know who you were." Emma looked at her calmly. "You shouldn't have to know who someone is to treat them right." That line hit Lexi harder than any punishment could. As the school year went on, Emma's confidence grew. She joined the student council, started organizing charity events, and even stood on that same stage where her mom once spoke, this time, as a leader herself. She talked about empathy, about standing up even when your voice shakes, about how strength isn't about dominance, it's about kindness. Her message spread beyond the school. News outlets covered her story, calling her the mayor's daughter who changed her school. But Emma didn't care about the headlines. What mattered most was that she could finally walk through those hallways without fear, and so could others. Months later, on a rainy afternoon, Emma stood by her mother's office window overlooking the city. "You know," she said softly, "I used to think power meant controlling people. But it's not that, is it?" Her mom smiled, pulling her close. "No, sweetheart, true power is using your voice to make things right." Emma nodded. "Then I think I finally know what I want to do." Her mom raised an eyebrow. "Oh, what's that?" Emma smiled. "Run this city one day, just like you."